Oh, low post, mid post, high post, post game sports. What it do? I'm here live with my man Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10. WTP Sports Dude, excuse me, WTP Sports Dudes. We live every Tuesday night and Thursday night, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time, every Saturday and Sunday morning. Saturdays at 8 a.m., Sundays at 9 a.m. Like, share, subscribe. If you're not subscribed to us, we want to know why, because we the best thing smoking, the best up and coming podcast on YouTube. This is it. You here now. So hit the like button, share. I got my main man, Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10. Me, myself, just call me post game. You see our channels flashing below. You can subscribe to us there. My man Mossberg, how you doing this beautiful, wonderful evening, sir?
Man, feeling pretty good, man. It's been 3 days off, man. I haven't had this many days off all summer, like in a row. So it was new to me. And when we started heating up in the chat, I was like, let's give it to the people, man. And just wanna send a shout out to the people, man, all across, wherever you're from, respectively. That's always tuned into us, man. And we've noticed since even people coming in through Post Games Network on his side of the channel as well. We appreciate you coming through. Also, shout out to Pops, who's been someone that's tuned in. Shout out to Miss Robin. Um, Shout out to KT, who's always tuned in. Donnell, just some of the people that I could think of right off the bat, um, as well as nephew Iende, IB that's on here. Who we got so many different people that's always tuned in, and we appreciate you. And for those that are new, stay tuned in. And like post game said, man, we're gonna be the hottest, and we are the hottest thing smoking here in the Midwest, and we bring it to you live straight. All of the content we create is through our own, and we're gonna come to you straight out of some of our group chat thoughts today as well. Give you some of the perspective and the mind and some of our thoughts as we, dibble and dabble through our own work days as well. So we appreciate you all. And tonight's host, as you see, low post, mid post, high post. It's post game 86, as they call it on this YouTube network, man. So give it to the people, man. It's glad to have you hosting this evening. And I'm gonna just sit back and let you do what you do.
Yeah, low post, mid post, high post. It don't matter what the post is. You're not stopping us. So, man, it's been a lot of chatter on these YouTube streets lately. Shout out to Ticket TV and Too Raw for TV. Those are some really good content creators. If you're not hit to them, go check them out. But one of the things they've been talking about is that Steph Curry and Draymond Green, Moss, are trying to get LeBron James to waive his no trade clause
Mm.
and come to Golden State. Now, in such a deal, they probably would have to give up Jimmy Butler and or Kaminga
Yeah.
just to match salaries and draft picks. So, Moss, what's your thoughts on that scenario if it was to happen? Is that a way to a cheap fifth ring for Curry and LeBron? I think it's weird, man. I'm sorry. This new NBA is weird to me, bro. There's no way if I'm Steph Curry or LeBron James, either or, I would want to team up with the other because I'm trying to beat you. I'm trying to have more championships than you. I'm trying to have my legacy greater than yours. You're a rival. It seems like nowadays these guys have no problem with teaming up with the ops. What say you?
Man, it's crazy because for me, I've been watching a lot of basketball lately. And, I was watching the 85 All Star game. Then I was watching the 86 All Star game and seeing how competitive it was at that time. And to see how the game has changed in the '90s, which I've watched some of those All Star games as well, and to see now, I don't watch All Star games. So when you hear this news, it's like, man, is what's really going on? Is Luca did this Kevin Durant situation with him going to Houston? Is this a way to come back and even combat against Kevin Durant with his new team in Houston? It was KD, Curry, and Draymond. They had Clay Thompson at that time. So, now with tides changing, you could LeBron, Steph, Draymond, and then you have what's his name, the young kid. He's very good. Can't think of his name right off the top of my head. And you adding a few different pieces. So it's a lot to be said when you think of this. Then you think about the Olympics, seeing LeBron and Steph on the same team together, how great they actually played together when they were on the court. It was something to see. For me as a fan of the game, the West is a tough conference. It would bring a lot of smoke to that Western Conference as it already is. And then that opens the door to more possibilities in LA with Luca and whom he may, put himself with and team up with. You just don't know with this new NBA. And if you're willing to give up your trade clause to play with anybody right now, it would be Steph. And then you have the GOAT talk with that, you know, interfere with LeBron increasing Steph. It's so much that you could really, you know, just sit back and not just discuss, but really, really talk about for a while, until it happens, till the season comes, things we don't know. Just optimistic to look at, optimistic situation.
Well, let me ask you this, Mossberg, because if if you've been tuned in, you know how I feel. But this damage, let's just say this goes through. LeBron James joins Golden State with Curry and Draymond, those guys, and they win a championship, right? What does that do for their legacy? Will people be like, oh man, y'all really got four because y'all had to team up at the end to win the championship? Or will they look at it as a legit championship? What's your thoughts on that?
I I don't want to answer your question with a question because those are great questions. And for me, being the person that I am, and I'm very talkative. We cooking up tonight, so that'll give me even a thought: is Curry really that great for you to want to join him? This is not just the king now talking about joining Steph. We talking about the chef Curry. You've had Kevin Durant join this man. You've had him, Draymond Green, Clay build something. Throughout the time that they was there. This team has been built. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, they have not went nowhere. Amongst all the chatter, amongst all the speculation, and Draymond the last few years, even in his first few years when things were going on. So, for players to want to come over in Curry's way, I'm gonna just call it Curry's way. You can call him the chef. We might as well put another nickname out there for him because, he's really not just changing the game, but he's the type of player you want to play with. He makes the game so much fun. And I
Yeah,
think what he's 37, 38 now.
yeah,
Man, to be doing what he's doing, man. Like I said, last year, Steph was doing unbelievable things, career doings. Go back and tell me a 37-year-old that had the type of season that was a shooter like Steph Curry. That's what I was talking about when I mentioned
hmm
career and doing those type of things because now the king want to leave out quote unquote with the chef. That means that pot's still cooking as we continue to cook here from the
yeah,
Midwest to create another banger. So
yes,
that's
sir.
just my thoughts on that.
Let me ask you this, Moss. Who's if they were to team up Whose legacy does that do more damage to? Does that do more damage to LeBron's legacy, or does that do more damage to Steph Curry's legacy, in your opinion?
That's that's really the people want. I think the people would say it would hurt LeBron's legacy. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna give that, and that may be a fact. But for me, I'm really looking at it in today's landscape of how the game is changing rapidly. So if you ask me to go play with one of my boys, and I'm gonna say, for example, because one of my boys, shout out to Jermaine Baker, I never got the chance to play with from the time we played in the summer Gusmacker and won the tournament a couple of years, but I never got to play organized ball with him. And if I had the chance during high school, and this is a true fact, I'm gonna say this on the grain. Um, I would have took money under the table to go play with him and not told nobody. Back when I played in high school, he was that type of player I would have wanted to play with. He's that type of player still. I feel that I could play with today, respectively at our age. Um, I think at their age, for them to win a championship, you'll see them doing great things. So I would leave it at that. And I, it's hard for me to judge because I'm not in those shoes. And like I just said, I would have went and played with one of my buddies. So you asking me the same thing, and he's a point guard. So respectively, I play that 2 to 3 position, and this is the same thing. So I wouldn't want nobody to say I'm doing anything wrong. So I would say he's not doing anything wrong. He want to end his career having fun, and at the end of the day, you play the game of basketball to have fun.
Yeah, 100%. Put that comment up that Rob put in the chat.
Appreciate you tuning in, WTP Sports Juice as well. Oh, he said, hold on. The first one, he said, how you going my man LBJ on that thumbnail? And then he came in and he said, how you going? He said, neither to me, they are both at the end of their careers. Enjoy it together. Mm.
Okay, okay. I mean, I look at it totally different. I would rather beat if I'm LeBron, I would rather beat Steph Curry than join him. If I'm Curry, I would rather beat LeBron than join him. Because even if they join up, doubt I doubt that's a championship team. You know, maybe if Steph Curry stays healthy last season, maybe they beat the Wolves with Jimmy Butler and Draymond and the rest of those guys. Maybe we'll never know. But let me ask you this last question on the subject: does going to the Golden State Warriors give LeBron James the best chance to end his career with a championship? Because I still kind of believe that the Dallas Mavericks gives him his best chance to win another championship, especially if Kyrie Irving is able to come back this season and is not just falling off and is a shell of himself. With the defensive players they got, if they're not able to give up a lot to the Lakers in a hypothetical trade for LeBron James, I like what they got on that team, and then adding the first pick in the draft, I think that would be, in my opinion, his best chance to leave with a championship. But I'm asking you, Moss, does Golden State give LeBron James his best chance to win a championship next season?
That would technically negate what I said. I can't remember if it was a few months ago we was having a goat talk, and I said that my thoughts was LeBron needed to go back to Cleveland in order to bring that title home. I'm gonna stick with my thoughts on that. I think the East is, if you really look at it, the East has been the way for him to have that path where He's not resting himself. He's not resting his body. You seeing, numbers that, you know, the historic side. Not that he hasn't been doing that out west, but that path out east is much easier, for LeBron. And as we see, but you do have a Knicks team, you do have a Pacers team, as we see that's playing very well, along with a Detroit Pistons team that could challenge teams. So, I mean, like we say, the game is changing. I think Cleveland is his best fit. Dallas,
especially
I
with
mean,
Tatum out.
yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Boston being a team that they don't know which direction they really want to go. You got to Tatum, who they sit, and we see as their franchise player, the player at the top of the mountain in Boston. But when you have that injury, you really go to the drawing board in different ways, as we see they've been doing, making trades and things like that. So I say Cleveland is my choice. I think Dallas, you still got to go through the West. You still got to go against Curry. You still got to go against KD. You still got to see Jimmy Butler. You still got to see Anthony Edwards. You still got to see Luca. And we see what Luca did to Dallas when he went to Dallas the first game. Um, it's that West. You got to vest up. You got to have your body armor on from head.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm talking toenail, toe jam, and all. Going up to the nitty gritties of your head, man. So that's just my thought. I feel like Cleveland is a place. Ain't no place like home. I think Cleveland is something different, man. It's something different in the water, and everything in that water comes out surface. You hear it in that stadium, and the whole city is silent. So when you put LeBron in Cleveland, basketball is at a different level. That's just what I'm gonna stick with. Basketball is at a different level with LeBron at Cleveland. Of course, we know it's home, but basketball is at a different level.
Cool, cool. Yeah, man, that's very interesting. It's interesting to see if LeBron is going to stick it out with the Lakers or if he's going to waive his no trade clause and ask to be traded somewhere. And then you got the other side of the story is, what are they going to include his son in a trade package with him, or does his son stay in L.A. want to be his own man? So that's an interesting
Yeah.
topic. But ladies, let's move over to the W, man. Naphessa Collier. Oh man, this lady has game. She returned last night. I believe it was seven. She missed the past 7 games with an ankle injury. Definitely the front runner to be MVP if you ask me. But
Yeah.
she dropped 32 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals in a victory over who was it? The Fever, Indiana Fever. How impressive was that return for Naphessa Collier?
We're gonna get right to your comments as well, FanDuel. I appreciate you tuning in. Um, I think that was. I don't know if she dropped a statement to come back and drop 32 is enough.
Yeah.
Uh, it's been a lot of questions, a lot of talk. We talk about it a lot. Who can compete with this team? That's at the top. And if you really think about this this team we speaking on with Naphessa, they're probably one of the teams you think about in the history of the game. You think about three-peat teams, and they have this is, I think, a team that could win back-to-back championships together. So that was, I would say, diabolical. I like the word diabolical, and I think you understand what I mean by that. She came
Oh
out, she
yeah.
made a statement going into the playoffs and let them know, I'm here, I'm back, and we're going to be a wreck. And that's the
Oh yeah.
best way to look at it. And I'm a big fan of hers. And just to see her with that, the way she competes, man, night in, night out, she gives it her all. She's a force. She has every aspect of the game. She's not just a three level scorer. She's just. I mean, you could really look at her as an MVP this year to come
Yeah,
back and make that type of impact after 7 games. I know what Asia Wilson has been doing, but if she comes back and drop another 30 ball, you might as well go ahead and give her the MVP.
yeah, I definitely think it's Nafisha's MVP this year. But Moss, I would say, man, like I said on the last stream we did, Asia Wilson is
Yeah,
on a house. No, forget a house. She on a mansion full of fire, bro. They are 10-0 in their last 10 games, and the Aces are coming. Uh, but again, Nafisha Collier, I think she's been a little bit more consistent through the season. Uh, they're sitting at first place in the West at 30-7 and 8-2 in their last 10 games. So when you ask how impressive Nafisha has been, I mean, what else could we say, man? She's the MVP right now, and they're looking like the favorite to win the WNBA championship this season.
and when I looked at their stats, I think I had looked at their stats right after All Star break before they went into this last month stretch, and I think it was a total of like maybe a tenth of a point or close to a percentage of a point. They were that close in overall stats. If you really look at the difference in rebound, and one may have like 1 point something more rebound or assists. I think we looking at the passing of the torch. Asia Wilson, letting the world know, letting the W know as well that, I'm still, the MVP. I still reign who I am. Something as we talk about with the NBA and LeBron being, the type of man he's been over these years. We got to give Asia Wilson her credit. Who, she's dropping shoe after shoe. We see that as one of the shoes that a lot of players are wearing as well as some of the teams out there in the world. So we
Yeah,
definitely just have to appreciate the basketball that these women are displaying right now because
for sure.
we're speaking on you might as well say two of the top bigs in history of the W and the Fisha in a young career already. In Asia, she's already put together a phenomenal Hall of Fame career
Hmm.
and not to mention GOAT like career.
Yeah,
Just put that out there. So for sure.
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Before we switch gears and go to the NFL, you want to put up our man FanDuel's comment?
He said easily Bron would be
I
the
guess
one.
he's speaking on whose career it would do more damage to.
Yeah, definitely Bron. And then he said Bron is ducking smoke. Stop it. He don't want Curry to pass him. Definitely
Oh
don't.
man. And so if you can't beat them, join them, huh?
That's what they said about KD. So, it's something to think about. Minnesota out there too.
Yeah, if you in the building right now, man, smash the like button. It helps us out tremendously. Gets us more views, gets our podcast out to different people. So if you're out there listening, please smash the like button. It helps us out tremendously. Mossberg, let's switch gears to the NFL. A lot of things been going on as the preseason came to an end. Amari Cooper, wide receiver, signing back with the or Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders on a 1 year deal. Uh, Raiders receivers, they got Jacoby Myers, they got Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton Jr., and of course that monster at tight end, Brock Bowers. So two questions I have for you: does Amari Cooper still have it, and where does he fit in on the depth chart? Is he going to be a factor this season, or is he just a veteran for the locker room? So does he hit? Does Amari Cooper still have it, and where does he fit in as far as depth chart?
Las Vegas is where Amari Cooper got drafted to, or he played in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember
Yeah,
if he
he used
had
to
a
play.
stint.
He used to play for the Raiders.
Yeah, he had a stint there, so I know he's familiar with what they do. I think it's a great pickup for Geno Smith. I think that gives Geno Smith another um, target. It gives him a veteran, um, not just in a locker room presence, but it's going to be times and situations where we see a old flash, you know, of Amari Cooper, whether it's a great catch or just him catching the ball, making whether it's a block, just the little things, and that's big for Vegas because for a team that's revamped, you have Bowers at the tight end position. Now you have a running back, you have a solid defense. And for them to be able to compete in that AFC West, we see is they've almost beat Kansas City multiple times the last few years. Could this be that year? Could a player like Amari Cooper be a player to get them over the hump with a possession, a catch, a touchdown? Just anything, or even a block. So all those things I think play a big part of him being signed in Las Vegas. And we can't forget they have Tom Brady in that office as well. So you're not
Yep.
dealing with just anyone in the office. You're dealing with a Hall of Famer, a great, um, can't think of a legend in the game, someone that knows the game as well, in and out. So we got to respect what's going on in Las Vegas because we never know. Any team can have a turnaround season, and especially in that AFC West. We seen Denver have a great season last year. So could it be Oakland that step up? I mean, the Raiders, Las Vegas, that step up and have a better season this year.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know about this, Moss, because I don't know if Amari Cooper is still Amari Cooper. Like I don't know where he's gonna be at on the depth chart. I know they like a couple of the rookies they got at wide receiver.
Hmm.
Of course, you got that monster at tight end, Brock Bowers. I know for sure he's not above Jacoby Myers, maybe Dante Thornton. He's not above Brock Bowers. So I don't it's new, it's fresh. He hasn't played in the preseason. I don't know what type of player Amari Cooper is in 2025.
Right.
If he's 70, 60% of what he used to be, he'll be solid. Nothing great, nothing spectacular, but he'll be a solid addition. He would definitely help Jacoby Myers out and Brock Bowers out, but we got to see, man, because we don't know what type of player Amari Cooper is in 2025. So that's to be determined, in my opinion.
I can say
But
this. Oh,
go ahead,
not what
go ahead.
they said. He would drop the ball quite a bit before he finished out his last tenure. He was catching that football. I can say that, and made some big grabs. So, that's the thing I look at him and Geno Smith. I think he's the type of target that Geno Smith would like to have. I think he could play the slot. Just knowing his route running ability. That's not the best, but I think it's good enough for him being a veteran, and it's gotten so much better where it was from the start, which people criticized him for, to where it could be something great for the Raiders.
Yeah, no doubt. And with the how that team is constructed and with Pete Carroll, getting up there in age, they brought in Genty at the running back position.
Yeah.
Again, man, Brock Bowers is just a mutant out there at the tight end position. Jacoby Myers is a slept on wide receiver. Then you add Amari Cooper, as well as the rookie wide receivers that they took in the draft. As you mentioned, solid defense, great pass rush. Uh, Pete Carroll and the Raiders are trying to win right now. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare in that AFC West. I got Denver personally winning that division this year, but we'll see what happens. Let's uh let's move on to your Cincinnati Bengals, bro. Big Henderson, finally, finally. You gonna put the hat on? Yes,
You
sir.
know I'm play one. You
Represent.
you already know it, man.
Represent, man. It's all good.
It's a
Represent.
different one though. You
Oh,
know,
okay,
after that
okay,
Trey
okay.
Hendrickson signing,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
It get cold in the Midwest, man. It's all good. It's all good.
good to see you in here, nephew.
Who that? As I said, Cold Nation. I like him. Who is that?
Nephew. WTP Sports Dudes. That's Unc's son. That's nephew, man. I haven't went live
Oh,
yet to give him his 50 push-ups, but I definitely got to give him his 50 push-ups.
oh, that's Rob's son.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh
Yes,
man, salute to you, man. Coach Nation, man. You know what it is.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I'm feeling the hat. FanDuel Zaya is not feeling the hat. But let's go. Oh man, you come on, boss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I bet you feeling it down, FanDuel. I bet you feeling it down. There we go.
Oh man, not the Christmas lights.
Yes, sir.
Oh
So
man.
that's how it felt, man. That's a holiday treat early in the Christmas basket, man. Definitely.
Oh man, it's all good, man. I represent your Bengals, dog. But man, you got some great news. It seemed like this was lasting forever, man. But Hendrickson agrees to restructure his contract, adds or gets a $14 million raise to up his salary to 30 mil. Well deserved money.
Yeah.
Uh, but my question for you is, how does this affect the Cincinnati Bengals? You know, what do you see? What kind of impact does getting him out on the field do for your Cincinnati Bengals in the 2025 season?
I think I think the impact is major. Um, when you're talking about not just the NFL sack leader, you're talking about somebody that's lived and breathed Cincinnati since he's been there. You know, he's been a leader since day one coming into Cincinnati and wanted to get better. You know, and for him to become the NFL sack leader, that's a major, step. Not only for him, for the organization. That speaks volume of himself and what he's endured, the longevity, the grind, being in those trenches, um, and his work ethic as well. That's something a lot of people don't see. I watch a lot of film. Trey Hendrickson, man, he's a monster. He works hard, and just something to have, man. Just a great addition since he's been there, and we love him. And he want to retire a Bengal. Hopefully, if we could get things in order, following after this season, I hope we could do that, and even move forward. But I think it's a big part of what we do defensively to make things happen for that offense. And I think this year, if we could do that and much more on our defensive side of the football, and I think he'll be a big part of that. Of course, um, I see us not just in the AFC Championship. I could see us being in the Super Bowl if our defense could play half as good as they did last year. But I feel our defense is going to be a top defense this year, just with that signing. Having him in the locker room makes a difference.
I definitely think. Uh, See, man, to me, this how I see it. It's all gonna start with y'all offense. I believe y'all have the top offense in the NFL, if not top, definitely top two or three. Uh, I think y'all gonna go as that offense goes. Now, how I see Henderson impacting your Cincinnati Bengals, bro, is that you're gonna need, because this is how I see it. The Cincinnati Bengals want to score, right? So opposing teams are going to have to keep up with the Cincinnati Bengals. If how they come into a game Sunday or whatever day it is, they want to put up points. They want to have the opponent chasing points. So one thing you got to have if you're going to play that style of football is a pass rush. You
Yeah,
definitely have to get after the passer because a lot of teams are going to be playing catch up to the Bengals. The
yeah,
Bengals are, it ain't too many teams who can match up with the Bengals. in that offense. You got Higgins, Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, Joe Burrow, of course, LL Cool Joe, as I like to call him. But the way I see your Bengals doing it is score, score, score.
Yeah,
Okay, you're gonna have to catch up with our offense, and guess what? We got a monster pass rusher coming after your quarterback because you're chasing points. So that's how I see Hendrickson impacting your Bengals this year. What say you? You got anything to add to that?
yeah, I totally agree in every way. Like you said, you gotta have somebody rushing the quarterback, and as we've seen what he did last year, he did a great job in doing that. I mean, it was times where he could have even got a sack or two more, but I'm not upset with what he did. He performed very well, and I think it's only going to be even more of a performance this year. Um, I think he just helps the defensive line bringing that um, bringing that leadership, that veteran leadership. And when you have the sack leader that's trying to get after the quarterback, I think that pushes you to want to get better, and you able to get better with having him there as well. So I think it's good all around. And like you said, we have somebody that can definitely get after quarterback, and they have to worry about it as well.
Yeah, is Stewart gonna start for y'all this season? The
And
rookie?
and that's what I was about to say. I think watching Shamar Stewart in training camp, I think it's going to give us so much depth to where if he starts this year, man, I'm gonna just say it's very possible that him and Hendrickson could be playing meet me at the quarterback on several occasions. Shamar Stewart is that good. I think having Trey Hendrickson gives Shamar Stewart that much more, not just I would say confidence. Um, it gives him that much more to see when it comes to the work and knowing that it's going to take that hard work to get better. What you do through the week is going to be something that fares out when Sunday comes. So I think you just seeing that it's going to be different a different scene in the trenches for the Cincinnati Bengals this season on that defensive side of the
Yeah.
ball.
And you know what, Moss? I've been a Colts fan all my life. This team, your Cincinnati Bengals, reminds me of those Tony Dungy Indianapolis Colts because you got an offense that wants to score, who's going to get up and down the field, extremely hard to stop, right? You
Yeah,
had Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Edgerrin James, Dallas Clark. Nobody could really stop that offense, but it seemed like the Patriots. But their strategy was to outscore opponents, and they had two pass rushers. Their defense really wasn't great,
yeah,
except for that year when Bob Sanders was healthy and we won the Super Bowl. But their strategy was score, 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 force the opponent to drop back and pass. Okay, we're going to unleash Freeney and Mathis on you.
yeah,
I see that in a similar way to what the Bengals want to do with Henderson and possibly Stewart this season.
yeah, and I totally agree with that too because that's something I've thought about the Indianapolis Colts teams many times. Just sitting back watching Burrow his preseason. He looks like a. I mean, no disrespect to no quarterback in the league, but the way he sits back and commands that huddle and watching the clock go down, how the clock could go down and he's still shuffling through, they moving, and it's like in sequence. It's like poetry in motion, as they say in basketball. You can say that same thing with football, and it's something to see. So I think
Yeah,
it's just gonna be great. I love it.
for sure. That's a from WTP Sports News. That's a question for you.
It's a great question. I think he can definitely be a 15 sack guy again. Like I said, we're having Shamar Stewart, but not to mention the other guys in the middle. You got Jenkins and the guy Jenkins from Michigan, and I'm missing a guy from Florida. I can't think of his name. Murphy from Florida. They're having a great camp, and like you said, Stewart. And it's one more that I'm missing. I can't think right off the bat. Just having those counterparts to you know, be right there going to war with you. I think he can get 15 again. You don't pay a guy 30 million for a season to not get 15. I think he's definitely worth the 15. I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give him 16 and a half. It's one sack a game, multiple sack games, 16 and a half, 30 million, 16 and a half.
Hey, pull up that comment from FanDuel Zay.
Come on, Zay. Come on, Zay. He said, I say y'all trade Joe Burrow for the house to go get Shador.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Let's move on to the Houston Texans, bro. Uh,
With all due respect to Shador, he might be scared of Arch Manning coming through. That's them Arch Manning vibes right there coming through.
uh, Houston Texans, bro. Uh, Joe Mixon expected to be sidelined for at least 4 weeks, so to start this season. Uh, so my question to you is this: who's going to be the man at running back for the Texans? Is it Nick Chubb, or a lot of people aren't mentioning his name, but I think they should. Damian Pierce. So Nick Chubb or Damian Pierce, who's going to lead this backfield while Joe Mixon is out?
I think it's going to be a committee. I think with Mixon being out for, you're talking about a month, and when you return, you're still not
And maybe longer, Moss.
right. So you're talking. I'm gonna say month and a half. I think it's going to be a committee thing by the end of that second week. They'll know who their guy is moving forward until Mixon come back, and take the load, and then you could have a three-headed monster, coming back. So word on the
Look,
street, Nick Chubb looked like a different guy, and he's looking just as good when he left, if not better. I'm just saying.
okay, I get it. But let me ask you this, because Houston is known, one of the knocks on them is they have a terrible offensive line.
Mhm.
Uh, do you think Nick Chubb can still get it done at this age?
I, I'm a,
Behind
I'm,
a at best a mediocre offensive line. You think he can still get it done?
ooh, that's a great question. I'm gonna say yes, and the reason I say yes to this question, because I don't know if this specific running back, because it made me think about this when Zeke came back to Dallas. Dallas had a better offensive line, and we didn't see what was expected. So it just made me think about that. So I'm gonna say yes to Chubb, and also on the fact that when Houston have big backs like this, the way they do, they don't always have to have the biggest line as we've seen in Arian Foster. He was one of the greatest backs I think in Houston history, um, for the Texans, but that franchise being but outside of that, I think he'll be great. I think he'll be good, good enough until Joe Mixon get back to keep the Texans at bay. I think we just need to see a little more at times from CJ Stroud in his legs in due time.
See, I see this differently, bro. Listen, I don't trust their offensive line to give Nick Chubb or Damian Pierce, the younger guy, much running room. I think for the Houston Texans to have success this year, and hopefully they could protect CJ Stroud a little better than they can open up the run holes. But they're going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to give Nico Collins his breakout season, his biggest season. Hopefully he can stay healthy. They got the rookie Higgins and was it Noel from Iowa State? Or yeah, Iowa State. So I think the Houston Texans' best bet is to air the ball out because I just don't trust their offensive line. Nick Chubb is getting up there in age. I don't think if Nick Chubb still had something left, the Browns would have got rid of him.
Yeah,
I think he'll. I don't think he's terrible. I think he'll be serviceable. But again, that offensive line is not great, and they traded their best offensive lineman to the Washington Commanders in the offseason. So I'm not sure who would be better, Nick Chubb or Damian Pierce. Damian Pierce had a good rookie season, but they moved on from him after that. Uh, so I don't know how good he is. Nick Chubb is up there in age. Offensive line not great. I say C.J. Stroud is gonna have to sling that thing all over the field this season. What say
yeah.
you?
I think it's a big year for that team. Just speaking on that, when you say that, like you said about Nico Collins, if he can stay healthy, that'll be a big thing for Houston. C.J. Stroud, I think he's the quarterback that I mean he's so great at being that pocket passer. I think we need to see them wheels move and him just get out of bounds a couple times or slide. I think this is the season where he's going to have the opportunity to do that. But it's going to be other things we want to see. And Pierce that's a running back from Tennessee. Is that running back for
Florida, I believe. I believe Pierce is from Florida,
before?
if
Okay,
I'm not mistaken.
yeah. I think that's with the back situation until Nixon get back. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of different footage all throughout different medias and just all over, and they it's a lot of talk about Nick Chubb. And when I seen him one of them doing this little workout, I was like, he looked like Chubb from
Oh
Georgia.
yeah,
He
oh
looked
yeah,
like Chubb
Chubb.
from Georgia.
Yeah, Chubb a monster in that weight room.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about that. I'm just not sure if that offensive line can open up enough holes. You know,
for
maybe
sure.
and maybe he surprises us, Moss. Maybe he, got a chip on his shoulder and he want to show people what it is, similar to AP in the latter part of his career. But
Right.
we'll see what happens. Last question on the docket, man, before we get out of here. Your Bengals got the deal done with Hendrickson. We've seen Amari Cooper end up with the Raiders again. Scary Terry. We forgot to touch on him. Scary Terry got his raise. He got the bag from the Washington Commanders. Uh, that does wonders for their quarterback. Uh, and just where the Commanders want to go this season. They gotta, if they're to do anything this season, Scary Terry has to be involved. Agree?
I agree, and I'm glad you hit on that because if I would have asked you a question and saying who got 13 touchdowns over the last 4 years, who would you have guessed? Just thinking, who would you guess have this stat?
At like average 13 touchdowns over the last.
The last 4 years, they have 13 total touchdowns. This specific player has 13 total touchdowns over the last 4 years
At wide receiver.
at the wide receiver position.
Who, Scary Terry?
Scary Terry, and he just topped 13 in one season.
Yeah, he finally got a quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, I know Zay is on here watching. Shout out to the Ohio State for giving us Scary Terry in the NFL with Jaden Daniels out of the SEC. Shout out to that SEC Big Ten showdown this weekend too.
Oh
But
yeah.
Scary Terry he's something special, man. And watching him last season, what he did to my Bengals, it was tough watching that game. And I said, if they don't pay this guy when we played the Washington Redskins, I said they gonna miss out on something special. So it's good to see him sign and to see that Jaden Daniels got him a for sure target. And you talking about somebody that the 30 plus yards, that's his go-to guy. They only had I think 12 last year. Six of them was a Scary Terry. That's a threat. That's a deep ball threat, and not just a deep ball threat. He's a threat, period. over 1,000 yards, and he's just doing what he do. And
Hey, Rob said smash time. Talk
we
about
have
the Longhorns and Buckeyes matchup this weekend.
yes indeed, we have WTP Sports News, the man that put us all together. He's talking Texas. We have FanDuel Zay. He's talking OSU. It's smash time, and Zay say psych. I just had to go back and forth one time, man, because it's like a heavyweight fight this weekend.
Can't
OSU,
wait, man.
Texas.
Can't
Any
wait,
any thoughts on that, man? Since we talking about it, we got them in the comments. Any talk about this
bro.
OSU,
Bro,
Texas?
I'm excited. I'm just excited as those two gentlemen. And I'm an Irish fan. Man, I cannot wait for the Ohio State and Texas matchup. It's gonna be must see TV. Get your popcorn ready, all that. But I don't think it's gonna be the type of game people are expecting. We're gonna talk about that on later streams.
Mm,
I'm excited though, man. I can't wait, man. And unfortunately for those two, one of those teams has to hold that L. So
we gonna definitely save a lot of that talk, with all due respect, because we got City League TV, we got FanDuel Zay, they Buckeyes, and we know they're gonna be rocking the house along with the rest of they Buckeye fans. And then we got the man that put us all together, WTP. We call him No, with a W on the end, as Jam said, with a lot more polish to it, a lot more knowledge, and so much more to go along with it. Who's Hookem, Texas. Man, this is just a big week, man. I want to save all my cooking utensils for when we see these guys
oh
on.
yeah,
And it'll definitely be tomorrow evening.
oh
And
yeah.
man, I'm gonna be working, but I'm definitely gonna have to slide off that clock for a few minutes or just mute my mic because I don't want to miss nothing when it comes to Texas Ohio State preview, which we got going on tomorrow. And Zay is in the chat with WTP Sports Dudes. He said Zay's not excited. He shared, and Zay said
He's no, no,
24.
no. He's. I think he meant to say he's scared.
He said he's scared. Yeah,
They
he
not
said he's
excited.
scared.
He's scared.
And then Zay said he doubled back and said 24-20 OSU over
Ooh,
Texas. And then WTP Sports News said Texas versus Ohio State preview tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
yeah, yeah. People, if you watching, man, again, please hit the like button for us. Join us tomorrow evening at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the Ohio State Texas preview. You don't want to miss it. So last question, man, so we can get up out of here. Moss, what the hell is going on in Dallas with Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones, man? What's going on? I don't understand.
I'm going to just put my pencil in my ear and tell Jones, you better, let me see. What's the number? You got Watt that just got 40 ball. You got Garrett that got what 41? Did he got more than Watt, right? Or 39
Who?
for Garrett. I know Watt got I think 40.
Yeah,
I think Garrett got 39 or 41.
yeah. He got a little bit more than Watt, if I'm not
So
mistaken.
so the question to me is I think Garrett and Watt is better than Micah Parsons respectively. Respectively. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say 39 is the magic number. 39 million. Get that man signed because I think if they don't sign him, I think Dallas don't get to the playoff this season. That's probably one of the.
Mm,
I know what we talked about when we spoke on the Hendricks, when we talked about the Watt, when we talked even about all the different free agents and just the different signings. But I think when you talk about a signing, I think this signing in Dallas is more important than signings that's been made over the past few years because he's the type of player that could actually change Dallas's franchise from being a playoff pretender to a championship contender.
Mm,
That's what we talking about in Micah Parsons, and I think you got to sign him. I think you have to sign him. If you don't, Dallas don't go to the playoffs. No Micah Parsons, no playoffs. And the speculation that he said he liked to be in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow in the game, but I'm gonna just leave that for a whole nother topic of discussion. Because if he don't get signed in Dallas, hopefully we got a couple dollars in Cincinnati. I don't know.
yeah. You know who I think the Dallas Cowboys are? I think they are the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFC.
Mm.
I think their offense is going to be really high powered with Dak and CD. Uh, man, what's the receiver they got from the Steelers? His name slips my mind. You know what I'm talking about, the receiver that came over from Pittsburgh. He in Dallas right now.
Oh, Pickett.
Man, Pickett, yeah, Pickens. Yeah, I think they're going to be a high-powered offense. I think Dak is going to sling the ball all over the field with CD and Pickens. Ferguson over the middle at tight end. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot. I don't, you know, I think the Bengals are more balanced. But I'm just saying on the NFC side, I think that's the type of team they are because one thing we talked about is if you're going to be an offensive team, at the bare minimum, Moss, you're gonna need a pass rush. So,
Yeah, you definitely.
man, at this point, man, we can wake up and he can be signed. But man, at this point, I
Yeah,
don't know, man. Do you think there's a possibility of them trading Parsons, and who would they trade him to?
that's a very good question. I mean, when we think about teams that need a pass rusher, every team needs a pass rusher because you either want
Yeah,
to have one or two. So
yeah,
you give me thoughts of the Tennessee Titans. You give me
hmm,
thoughts of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which FanDuel's A and WTP sports teams respectively. Even your
hmm,
Indianapolis Colts. So it's a lot of different teams that could use him, and I think is with the attitude. I think he's the type of player that just might need to be elsewhere because I think Dre Jones holding him back. And if you really would have wanted this player signed, you would have signed him last year before anything happened with Garrett, before anything's happened with Wyatt, anything like that. You would have been signed.
yeah, yeah, man. It's a crazy situation in Dallas. Man, if just trade him. It seems like y'all not willing to come off that bag for him and not pay for his services.
Right?
Um, he's one of the better pass rushers in the NFL. So I don't know, man. He said he would kill in our defense. Rumor has it he was looking at Henderson before he signed. Yeah, that would have been a big pickup for them Buccaneers, bro, for
They
sure.
was close. They would have been a team to have him if he wasn't signed because they got the money. I mean, we know what Tampa Bay building over there. Word on the
Yeah, for
street,
sure.
they looking for fourth straight for real. Atlanta, I think the only team that might be able to compete with them this year for real.
I'm low key. Hey, Zay ain't gonna want to hear this, but man, I gotta keep it funky. I think Atlanta is gonna come at the end and sneak and win that NFC South.
It get funky, man. It get funky in that division.
Yeah, but I think Emeka Ibuka, is finna go nuts.
Yeah, he about to go crazy.
Him and Big Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans, and when you got a veteran like Mike Evans, he spoke very highly on him. Like Booker, man. He said, man, that special, man. He's something special. He said the league is gonna know who he is for sure. So I'm
Oh
definitely
yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to see what he does. I've always liked the type of player he is for short hands. And when you're a receiver, it don't matter where you at, what school you go to. Catching the ball, that's a position I played. I didn't get to play football, but I love playing receiver. And my last name ain't Moss for no reason. I'm like that, and he's one of those guys that could
If
do that.
you if you even, you leaving.
Yeah, yeah, like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got a flu of them coming in. As they said, that's cool. He said he ain't mad at you. And then WTP Sports News, of course, he came in, Texas, Ohio State, but he talking about the Buccaneers. He said, and pop Tampa Bay twice again. Ooh. And then they said, FanDuel said Taz Johnson just had a monster showing in preseason as well. Yeah, but Rob, like anybody my team face is hate at this point. It's that type of week. Say, you know, he coming at you from all different angles. And when you see FanDuel and WTP Sports dudes, man, when I say this is a week to where they see each other every single day from the time I'm gonna say from the time they get out their vehicle to get to the bag to the time they get away from it and they go to sleep, they hearing, they seeing, they talking. It's a crazy week, Texas, Ohio State. You're gonna see it tomorrow evening as we sit.
Oh, what a rivalry! What
Yes.
a rivalry!
Yes.
Well, Moss, you got any closing thoughts for the people?
Um, the bottom of the screen, man. Make sure y'all like, y'all subscribe, man. Every level up sports 10 FanDuel say Blitzburg post game WTP for life. Put us all together. We definitely gonna have some live streams coming. City League TV. We have Beechcroft at Eastmore this past Friday. We're getting a chat. We normally try to hit you with a surprise and stay locked into the City League TV page on Facebook, as well as our sports group page on Facebook, Level Up Sports. We all got the group, all our names respectively in there, as well as just what we do, all of our posts, all of our shorts, all of our videos, and we switch our playlists around even for you as well. So definitely check that out respectively and get ready for this big weekend, man. Ohio State, Texas, going down this Saturday at high noon. Of course, Florida State, Alabama kickoff as well. So, man, I can't wait, man. Weekend of football. I'm tucking it in and locking in for the whole weekend, man. That's all I'm looking forward to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well said, man. Notre Dame Miami preview dropping later on this week, so be on the lookout for that. Like, share, subscribe on your way out the door. It's been another great one. My man Mossberg, me myself, I'm post game, and like the late great Craig Mack said, we bring a new flavor to your ear.
Yes, sir. Peace. We out, as we always do. Throw it up.